Welcome back. Episode 98
Hmm.
of the Purple Rain podcast. The Brandon Williams episode. The Tony Siragusa episode. I had to throw that one in there too.
Oh yeah.
Goose. But we are. Oh, and Anthony Weaver. Oh my gosh.
Oh
Like,
yeah. How could we forget?
current Ravens assistant head coach. Wow. Nice job, Alex. But we are back with a whole lot of news. Not just Ravens. I mean, the whole league is on fire. It's like that SpongeBob. I mean, everything's on fire and you're just running around. Like
Right.
that is the NFL right now. We're here. We're gonna keep it sane, like the video per usual, and follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast if you haven't already.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, we've got some story posts up there right now, and listen, there's going to be another story post coming very, very soon. You know, we're getting closer and closer and closer to episode 100, which there will be a jersey giveaway, as you guys know. Haven't dropped the poll just yet, but it will be coming very, very soon. The closer and closer we get to episode 100 of the Purple Rain podcast. And just talking about that real quick, like, I just want to give a quick shout out and thank you to all of you guys, even before just closing in on 100 episodes of this show.
Insane.
It's insane. And I want to give a huge shout out and thank you to the entire Rain Gang, all of you guys who are in this chat, week in and week out, donating, just coming through, putting stuff in the chat, just interacting with us. We appreciate it.
DMs.
Yeah, absolutely. Absolutely. All of that stuff, man. And Alex, I appreciate you, man. Honestly,
Right
just
back at you.
doing this for 100 episodes, man. I never saw it coming. I didn't see it coming. So it's like, here we are, you know? Exactly.
And I
So,
think it's pretty cool. I mean, having a voice. I mean that too. I think just
Yeah.
some of the stuff that our little jokes we have. I mean, that's can't really replace them. So thank you
Right.
to everybody. Thank you to
Yeah.
you.
Thank you. No problem, man. So, episode 98 of PRP, guys. Listen, there's a lot to talk about, like my guy Alex said. Before we get into anything else, though, let me go ahead and throw up here where you can find us individually on Twitter or Instagram. My guy SimplyAS10, you can find him on Twitter at SimplyAS10, just like how you see there. And on Instagram, you can find him on Instagram at SimplyAS10.prod. So make sure you check him out on all fronts because he's going crazy. Especially, I've noticed it on Instagram. Like, you go on Simply's Instagram, dude, it's like he posts a video of some Ravens players highlights, and then like hours later, like they're commenting on it, you know, they're following him. So like he's really like gaining some notoriety in that Ravens locker room. Like, I want, like, talking about that, I know like your name has to come up in the locker room. Like, oh, you seen that guy Simply? Like, he made that video for me, man. That was going crazy. I know those are the conversations that are being had. I know it.
Wow. And
So
listen,
make sure you guys follow
I just
him.
want to
Yeah.
have. Thank you. I want to have people on here. I mean, it's going on, but nothing will ever compete to when we had Patrick Queen on here. I'm just gonna be honest. Like when we hit the 100, that's my favorite by far.
Yeah.
And hopefully more players soon. Honestly.
Yeah. Be on the lookout. Be on the lookout, guys. And you can follow me on Twitter or Instagram just at Sutton Def, like you see right there. And yeah, also, like we said before, make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast, and also make sure you hit that subscribe button. That subscribe button down below underneath the YouTube play video head, and you can actually go ahead and just be updated on everything Purple Rain that comes out, because there's going to be a lot of videos coming out very, very soon. Free agency starts on Monday. OMG. It is going to be a roller coaster.
I'm like a kid on Christmas. Kid in a candy shop. Can't wait. I just love free agency.
I always forget how exciting it is, right?
Like I
year.
like it more than the draft. I mean, I get hyped for the draft, but
Yeah.
that hype you have when you're on the clock will never compete at the hype of like somebody getting released and that you could possibly sign them. Like if we got Bobby Wagner, I will get into it. I think that'll be more exciting than whoever we get number 14. Unless somebody falls dramatically, like
Yeah. And we'll get into more talk like that, but we do want to bring up some of you guys here in the live chat tonight. We thank you guys so much for watching the Purple Rain Podcast live. If you're not watching live right now and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, we thank you guys so much for joining this episode of the Purple Rain Podcast. Make sure you guys leave your comments down below, and also leave a like, guys. We got to get the likes up. We're gonna get the likes up. Come on, leave a like on the video if you are enjoying the content so far. Let's go ahead and see who we have here in the live chat. We got Yolanda in the house. What's going on, Yolanda? The Trib in the house. King 95, Ray Rico is in the building. Raven 76 B Moore in the house. Damien Enzo says, "What's up, Rain Gang?" What's up, Damien? How are you doing? Thank you for coming through. We got Sean Canny says, Sup, Sutton Def, Simply, and the Rain Gang. Excited to
Up,
catch my
Sean.
first live podcast. Just started watching you guys and love your content. Keep
Thank
dropping the
you.
heat.
Thank you,
Thank you
Sean.
so much, Sean. That is
And
very, very high praise. We
and
appreciate
I'll
you.
be honest, a week from today is when the the new league year begins.
Hmm.
So next week's episode, I'm fully expecting to have like my phone here and just reading off the updates like we did last year.
Yeah, honestly,
It's gonna be
because
wild.
it's gonna be one of those, like, it's the season where news is gonna be breaking live on the Purple Rain podcast. So you're gonna want to make sure you are tuned in to every single episode that we do. You can do that by hitting that subscribe button. Again, hit that subscribe button down below and like the video. Got my guy Keeping It Real in the house. Says, what's going on,
What's up,
guys?
bro?
Keep on putting in the work. What's going on,
Thank
Keeping
you.
It Real, man? Always keeping it real. Appreciate you for coming through each and every time. Let's see. Lisa in the house. What's going on, Lisa? Says, hey, guys, I have a Tony Siragusa jersey, and let's
Oh,
keep more
throwback.
episodes coming. Got you.
Throwback.
We got you, Lisa. Yeah. We love the throwback Tony Siragusa. We love that. Daquan in the house. Ryan in the house. K-Dog says, Sutton speaking facts about the
Ah,
Simply Love. Yeah,
it's
man.
all love here. It's all
It's all
love.
love.
You know that. You know
Yeah,
that.
absolutely. Big shout out to Mod K-Dog, the Purple Rain pioneer himself.
Mm.
Thank you for coming through, my man. Tracy Hall in the house says, hey, guys. What's up, Tracy? All right. So let's go ahead and get into some Ravens talk. There's a lot of
Oh,
NFL talk for sure. It's a big umbrella right now, but this is a Ravens channel, so we will lead with the Ravens news.
okay.
A couple big things that we wanted to bring up, not in any particular order of importance per se.
Because they all came at the same time yesterday. they,
Basically,
it
right?
was
Yeah,
it was out of nowhere.
basically. So we'll go ahead and start with this. We'll start with Tavon Young
Hmm.
being released by the Ravens. Alex, I want to get your knee-jerk reaction to this move that the Ravens made. Do you like it? Do you hate it? What about it?
I'm in the middle. I mean, I think us being Ravens fans and us born and raised in Maryland, for me, I always root harder for the guy who's born and raised here, works his butt off, goes through adversity, and plays for his hometown team. I
Yeah.
don't know if his team was the Ravens or the Redskins growing up, because that's what they were.
Mm.
But I just think it's cool, when you're play for the team that you were born in the same state. It hurts to see him go, but I was expecting it. I think you were expecting it between the injuries, the cap hit, and he wasn't playing the highest level, but he was still playing at a high level. I wouldn't be surprised if we go back and get him on a cheaper deal. It sucks, but I could see him back with the Ravens.
Mm. Yeah, to me, this really it screams. We are fully expecting Marlon Humphrey and Marcus Peters to be at full strength next season, and we're not going to need necessarily that depth. And it also kind of tells me that maybe defensive back is a position that they may address in the draft. Try to get some more
Ooh.
young talent, because you see, some of the young talent that we did get in the last couple of years. You look at guys like Brandon Stevens, who, I'm on the record saying that I really like him, because I do. I think he came on strong later in the season in 2021. So I think that the Ravens may try to go that route when it comes to DBs, because Brandon Stevens came on. Chris Westry, they also did not tender a contract to, but I'm thinking they may actually get him back, in one of those type of, re-signing type deals.
Mhm.
But yeah, I mean, just overall though, Tavon Young being cut, he was a good player, and he was like somebody
Yeah.
who he made plays when, like, kind of under the radar almost. That was why I really liked Tavon Young. It was because it would be like third quarter of a really tough football game, and he makes one play that kind of swings the tide of
Yeah.
that drive or that game. You know what I mean?
I mean,
Not
the Chiefs
right.
game, the away
Yeah.
pressure
Yeah.
picked off. And I look at it too. I mean, his rookie year, he locked down Antonio Brown.
Talk
I
about it.
wouldn't. I remember I was a senior in high school. I'm like, there's no way that number 36, his original number, some rookie from Temple, is shutting down Antonio Brown in the prime of his career. Like, AB is just ruled the 2010s as a receiver. I mean, amazing. And Tavon Young shut him down rookie year.
Yeah.
Like, that's insane. And then 2018, Lamar's rookie year, this is scoop and scores. I mean, that Chargers game, we weren't given a chance. They did
No.
not think we were going to win that game on Saturday night, and we won it. That scoop and score basically sealed it. I want to see him back. I really do. But I think for you, you're a big Brandon Stevens guy.
Yeah.
I think he'd go to the slot. I think the Ravens are looking at that.
That's another thing. I mean, you said it's a combination of the injuries and some other things, but I think it's also a combination of Brandon Stevens being able to kind of be, kind of like expendable in that DB room. You can kind of move him around,
Yeah,
So I think
versatility. The Ravens
right,
love that.
versatility and cheap labor, cheap
Mm,
labor. So like my guy J Prime 235 says here, I understand it, but I don't like it. Yeah, we
I'm
don't we
there
don't
with you,
like
J.
seeing.
Prime.
Yeah, because I mean Tavon Young, he's one of those guys who he's a Raven. Yes, he got injured frequently, things like that, but he's a Raven. So I don't like it, but it is understandable. It saves us how much in a cap room? I think like what 5-6 million.
Around, yeah, around that. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. So this also kind of tells me that the Ravens are probably gearing up to make a splash in free agency, right? So
Uh,
not,
can I bring
yeah,
up this? Can I bring up the cornerbacks that are available there? I mean,
sure,
so you got Stephon Gilmore, Joe Hayden, Kyle Fuller, Baltimore native, Chris Harris, Patrick Peterson, Bryce Callahan, Darius Williams, former Raven, um, obviously Jimmy Smith, J.C. Jackson, Charvarius Ward, Steven Nelson, Casey Hayward. Um, I mean, it's not deep, but there are some solid guys here that would be. I mean, there's Eli Apple if anybody wants him. That would be a good third cornerback. I mean, just not too much, I'd say, but it's not deep by any means. But there are
yeah,
some serviceable guys there.
yeah. There are some serviceable guys, yes, but again, I think it's just the Ravens basically banking on their two anchors
Yeah,
in their secondary to come back
health.
next season, and I also think that this means that they are going to probably try to make a splash for a safety.
Can we
Yeah,
just talk about that? I mean,
yeah,
you want to talk
sure.
about you want to talk about a safety class. This free agency class. If we don't sign a safety, I might as well go start supporting a different team because there are so
Mm,
many safeties out there that fit this defense and that are not going to be too expensive. I mean, I know we
right.
just talked about Tyron Matthew. There's a
Marcus
Marcus
May
May,
too. Yeah,
Quandre Diggs coming off an ACL injury.
yeah.
Marcus Williams going to be a lot of money, and I think one of my new favorites now, Justin Reed from the Texans. His first two games, 2 picks and a fumble.
Mm,
That's more than we got from both of our safeties all season, I think. Like that
yeah,
right there.
yeah. I mean, and the thing that we definitely need is playmaking ability.
Hmm.
At that safety position because that's something that we've definitely been lacking. And it kind of just seems like nobody thinks twice about throwing deep on the Ravens. Josh
Ask Joe
Allen,
Burrow, man.
Joe Burrow, Patrick Mahomes, those guys, they know that like the deep secondary game is not that strong for the Ravens, and it hasn't been for a few years, really since Ed Reed, right?
Yeah.
So it's like
Weddle
we
brought a
need
little
to
bit of that, but
a little bit of it, but
a
later in
little.
his career, kind of not as athletic. You could see Weddle wanted to be in the right spot at the right times, but he just did not have
Yeah.
the athleticism to actually be there, if that makes sense. So, um, it definitely would be cool to see the Ravens make a splash in free agency for a safety because, I mean, you look at the draft, as far as I know, as far as I can tell right now, it's not a very deep draft for safeties. There's like one good safety that's probably going to get
Yeah.
picked in the top 10. And then, there's a huge drop off from there. So
Yeah.
if we
You're
are going
right.
to address that safety position, we might as well do it in free agency. And, these moves with DBs, getting rid of Tavon Young, and then somebody else who we're actually getting ready to talk about right now. These are moves that are making cap space, making enough room in order to make one at least big signing. Remember last year it was Kevin Zeitler, our
And
first
that
big signing. That
and
was
that just
good.
went so under the radar. I
Yeah.
mean, I think that could be a Bobby Wagner. I mean, I wouldn't go under the radar, but Zeitler
Mm,
cut. Fans didn't like it, obviously. Seahawks fans hate that they cut their leader of the defense, the last member of the Legion of Boom.
right.
Um, but at the same time, it's like I do want to see the lineman, preferably a tackle, preferably a right tackle. And I think this can lead us into our next point, if that's cool.
Yeah, absolutely. Definitely. And
Um,
the next yeah, I would say the next point being tackle is going to be another big need, and that's and mainly because we've got this guy retiring. Well, I won't say mainly because we kind of wanted him to go anyway. But Alejandro Villanueva retires from the NFL officially yesterday, and tackle is just going to be the most important need on this team. Like if you ask me right now, what is the most important need on this football team? It is tackle, and most importantly, right tackle, because we don't know what Jawan James is. Alejandro Villanueva's retiring. Ronnie Stanley, hopefully, he can get back up to speed and fill in at that left tackle spot. But right tackle is still a huge, huge hole. So
Yeah.
so what are your thoughts about the whole tackle situation, offensive line as a whole?
So I think the best possible thing to happen was Villanueva retiring. So I don't know if
Mm,
that means we get more cap than we would have got from cutting him. Um, Thanks, Billy. Appreciate that. But
mm,
I know that Lyle Collins from the Cowboys, I know they're looking to trade him now. I think he carries a 10 million cap hit. I know Morgan Moses is a guy that Ravens fans have been bringing up. And then obviously the draft. I mean, I'm not too sure what will happen there. I don't know what's happening at 14. I really like now. I'm kind of leaning maybe it could be secondary because outside of your two top cornerbacks who are coming off of season-ending injuries, who do you have there? They got me and you playing third cornerback. It seems like.
yeah.
Um, I'm not too sure. I want to say we sign a veteran right tackle, um, but if we do go in with Jawan James, I am not going to be happy. That's another recipe for disaster.
Right, that's what I'm saying. Like it's like we have to shore up that offensive line if we want anything to happen. Because we gotta look at the 2021 season in hindsight. Defense, as much as people like to say, "Oh, we gave up big plays, this and that," defense was not the main issue. It really wasn't the main issue. Like we were holding most teams to 20, 25 points or less.
The Super Bowl champions, by the way.
Yeah, holding teams to 20 or less, basically, for the majority of the season. But it was just the fact that we could not score. We could not capitalize on drives. There were penalties everywhere, especially on the offensive line. And so, with that being said, that all boils down to, and like we always say, it boils down to the trenches, and that's the offensive line. No matter who was in there, whether it be Lamar Jackson or Tyler Huntley, those guys did not have efficient enough protection in order to get the
No.
job done. They just did not. So like Lisa says here, the O-line is a top priority right now, guys. And you're saying that you're not sure what the Ravens do at pick number 14,
No.
but to me, it just seems like if you don't have somebody who's like just like a best player available, so like you guys are saying, like Sauce Gardner, I know a lot of people are campaigning for him. A David Ojabo, guys like that, just guys who if you pick them, like they can be day one impact kind of guys. It's like I think you definitely got to go offensive line, man. You got to do
I'm there with
everything you
you.
can. Yeah, you
I
got to
mean,
do everything you can.
I obviously am a big Sauce guy because I just like everything about him. The
Hmm.
swag. I mean, he reminds me of a don't take this out of context as a mini Dion. I'm not meaning he's gonna be ever like Deion Sanders, but just
Right.
the aura he brings with him. I like that. Um, I'm looking at the tackles that are available. Nate Solder, left tackle, 33 Giants. This will never happen, but Teron Armstead, left tackle from the New Orleans Saints. Many
Yeah.
have him as the best free agent out there. Trenton Brown, right tackle from New England. And then Morgan Moses from the Jets, 31, right tackle. I think if I'm a betting man, maybe Moses. I
Yeah.
can't expect him getting too much. If we did get him, I actually would be pretty happy because it's like, okay, well, we have him, then we'll have Jawan James maybe. Who knows what he looks like in preseason? You don't know. But it's better than Tyree Phillips playing right tackle.
Yeah. Anything is better than Tyree Phillips playing right tackle at this point, and that's just not something that I want to see anymore. But as well, I mean, we're also banking on the fact that Ronnie Stanley is going to be 100% healthy
Oh,
going into this next season. Manuel's College Channel says Stanley won't be ready. We need one from the draft, a left tackle.
I take a
Man.
tackle that can
Yeah,
play both.
you have to. Like, I just think you have to take a tackle in either the first or second round. It just has to be done. If you don't take a tackle in the first or second round, this draft is a failure to me. I
I
think that, yeah,
and we were talking about it before. I'm not going to say what I said, but I'm just going to keep agreeing with you. This is DaCosta's like biggest offseason that he's going to have.
yeah,
Um, I need to see something, and I've only seen a little bit. I know we're freeing up cap, but there's guys out there that can help us win.
yeah.
And 2 weeks from now, I will either be very happy or very upset because I mean we'll be a week into free agency, um, and then we'll see how it goes.
Yeah. We will. And like we said, Free agency starts on Monday. So Monday is podcast day for us. We will definitely be having an episode on that day because there's going to be so much news dropping. We literally have to have an episode. So make sure you are locked into the Purple Rain podcast channel. Make sure you like this video. Also subscribe to the channel for much, much more Ravens content coming in this offseason. It's not even really the offseason. For real football fans, the offseason is its own season in itself, right? Yeah. It's like it's not football. There's no football being played, but it's like so many storylines being created and weaved together, all while no football is being played. That's pretty cool. That's the cool part about it. And we will be here every step of the way throughout the offseason. So make sure you are locked into our channel here. Hit that subscribe button down below. All right. So yeah, Alejandro Villanueva retiring. Not necessarily the worst news for Ravens fans. About a $9 million savings in cap, I want to say. So
that's a quality player right there.
Yeah.
And it's not Alejandro Villanueva.
Yeah. Exactly. So hopefully we can get a good upgrade with that money. I know some of that money is going to have to go towards bringing some guys back on 1-year deals. So Calais Campbell, one that comes to mind for me. I definitely want him back, and I would prioritize him first and foremost. Getting him back on that defensive line, also drafting some defensive linemen, because Calais Campbell, people say that, the defense for the Ravens doesn't have a heart and soul, and that's why they need a Bobby Wagner. That's why they need a Tyrann Mathieu. But the heart and soul of that defense is right there on that defensive line is Calais Campbell. Every time he's playing. Yeah, every time he's playing, I mean, he's hyping guys up.
When he's playing, that's...
When he is. I mean, he didn't miss a lot. How many games did he miss last season?
I know he missed the Browns game.
It wasn't over like 3, was it?
I don't think it was, no.
Yeah.
I know his first season with us, he missed a couple. Yeah, but I mean, it doesn't hurt having multiple leaders too, which is why,
That's true.
I mean, I'm picking... I want Bobby Wagner not even just because of leadership, because I think he just brings us something we haven't had in a while. That's a linebacker who can do it all. He can cover. He had 20 tackles in one game last year. And 17 he had 37 tackles in 2 games last year.
Yeah.
That's insane.
A lot of people really, really want Bobby Wagner in Baltimore because you pair him up with a young Patrick Queen, that could really elevate Patrick Queen's game as well. Just having that veteran in there.
And a competent linebackers coach.
That too.
Zach Orr.
That too. But yeah, so that is the news on that. And now we're going to go ahead and move on to our next topic here, which actually I think this news kind of dropped earlier today that it was like a rumor that this was happening. The Ravens are actually shopping Miles Boykin, trying to trade him. And Miles Boykin is a guy who we've been talking about for, as long as we've been doing this podcast, because we've always had our questions. We like to call him here Mystery Miles,
Probably the first episode we were talking about it. I wouldn't be surprised. You go back.
Yeah, exactly. Miles the Mystery Boykin. We never really knew what he was in terms of like scheme fit, as other than blocking, things like that. But it just, I don't know, his touchdowns that he had. He scored some touchdowns with us, but the touchdowns he had, it wasn't like he beat a guy or whatever. I've said this a million times, but he was just wide open, wide open most of the time, and just made the catch. Yeah. A lot of catches he goes for. I mean, he falls down, and Ravens fans just weren't the hugest fan of Miles Boykin as a wide receiver. And so for this news to come out that the Ravens are actually looking to trade him, I know for a lot of Ravens fans that might be like kind of like relief. Oh, like, okay, cool, we're gonna get some capital for a player that we don't utilize, and hasn't really shown us anything. So for me, I kind of like this news, to see what we can get. I mean, I like Miles Boykin. Like, I appreciate everything he's done for the Baltimore Ravens. Don't get me wrong, but just understanding where our team needs to be as opposed to where it is right now. I think that we could definitely get some good capital for him in order to make some of those advancements. What do you think about this?
I think probably a 5th or 6th round pick. Would you say that sounds probably a 6th or a 7th? Let's just be real. You think that's about right?
Yeah, that's probably about right. Yeah.
And I think about it. I mean, like, he's probably gonna go somewhere else and going to be good. And I'll probably be upset, but at the same time, it's like we weren't using him. But also, it's like when I look at his rookie year, like there was some promise there. He made the catch against the Seahawks. There was a good catch against the Rams, catching touchdowns. I mean, the first game I know we had one against the Jets in the red zone. He looked like a red zone threat. I'm not going to say he was a jump ball guy, but it's like he had a place in the team. What is his place in the team now? It's just special teams.
That's the mystery. That's the
Yeah,
mystery. Like we said, Miles the mystery Boykin. You never really know with him. I feel like the Ravens coaching staff, front office, doesn't even know what to do with him, and that's why
and
they're probably getting ready to trade him.
and even the 2020 year, I remember like we just started the podcast. It's like he scored against the Cowboys that Tuesday night game, scored
Yeah,
against the Jags. I think he scored against the Bengals. Like he was scoring touchdowns. I mean, he probably
yeah,
had one catch a game, but that's all he had. It's like scored against the Steelers. I mean, that's 4 touchdowns I know he had last year. Which 4 touchdowns for what our fourth receiver, third receiver, that's pretty good.
yeah. That's pretty good. You know, not gonna lie, but it's just
But
like it's not.
it's mystery. That's really what it
It's a
is.
mystery, right? I'm sitting here like lost for words because just like, yeah, he's scoring touchdowns, but we want him out
Right,
of
like
here too. You know,
yeah,
like I don't even know what to say about the guy. But whatever happens, with Miles Boykin or wherever he gets dealt, definitely wish him the best of luck.
yeah.
Absolutely.
No, like he's never
I
come
see.
out to anything bad about the
No,
team. Like
absolutely not.
when he really could have. I mean, when he
Right.
really the way the backlash he gets, but hopefully the best for
Exactly.
him.
Yeah. Lisa saying in here says no trading Miles Boykin. I guess she's campaigning to keep him. Kali says get him out of here.
Mm.
Uh, so you guys are kind of split on this one. That's pretty interesting. Pretty interesting. Taquan Christian in the house says yo, Rang Gang, Alex and Sutton. What's going on,
Yo.
Taquan? Thank you for coming through. All right. So yeah, that covers news on those particular things there. Any other Ravens news we're missing, Alex?
I actually want to bring up a tweet. I saw it. I'm kind of annoyed that I didn't bookmark it. I'm really mad at myself right now. Shoot, because it was like we could cut these players, and then we'll get more cap space. Yeah.
Yeah.
Shoot.
I think right now we're sitting at about what 17 million that we have to work with, which is a pretty decent amount.
Yeah. I can't find the tweet, but it was like if we cut, I think Hill, Oliver, Powers, Boykin, Amon Marshall, it can gain like 10 million in cap,
Mm.
and a couple others.
And those are all players that are very expendable, you know.
Yeah.
So I would love that, you know.
I'm gonna try to find this tweet. I really am because I don't want to give anything fake. Here it is. The Ravens have 15 million in cap space and create an additional 10 million with these. Ferguson, Boykin, Powers, Marshall, Oliver, Tolliver, and Hill, and that doesn't include a Humphrey or Peters restructure or even a Lamar extension. Lamar could drop his cap hit from 23 million to 5 million, if he signs an extension. Like that.
There's no names on that list that you just named that like I'm thinking that hey, we got to have this guy in Baltimore, you know. So I don't know. Maybe
I like Oliver. I like Hill, but do I like him that much? Pushing it.
honestly, that tells me this. That tells me this. The Ravens between right now, so the time that we're recording this episode, on Thursday, March the 10th. The Ravens between now and Monday will make some moves to cut some players to make more cap room for free agency.
I hope.
I think it'll happen.
Good trade.
Or trade. You know, I definitely predict some big moves within these next couple of days. So definitely want to make sure you're locked in. Probably we're going to be covering these things. The most breaking news that comes out while we're not on podcast days, probably post something on the Instagram. So make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain Podcast.
If it's big though, I mean, I think we're both down to make a video real quick.
If it's big, yeah. If it's something big, we would
i.e.
definitely
a
come
Lamar
on here and make a
extension, that'd be
video.
nice.
That would be beautiful. That'd be glorious. But yeah, I think between now and then the Ravens will be making some moves. And free agency is going to be very, very interesting, guys. It's going to be very interesting for the Ravens. Like, you got to stay locked in because they're going to make – I think what EDC is going to try to do is – I think he's going to try to fill the most needed position first and foremost. He's going to try to lock that up. And that's in free agency because free agency is obviously before the draft. I think he's going to probably try to lock up a lineman, an offensive tackle. One of the guys that you named earlier, I think it happens.
And I hope it does.
Yeah.
Once again, it's not a sexy pick.
It's
Were
not.
we sitting here? We were more excited for Sammy Watkins. Let me know if I'm wrong. Than we were for Kevin Zeitler.
No, you're absolutely right.
I
You're
mean, and look at
absolutely
it. I
right.
mean, just look how
Yeah.
good. I don't think Zeitler allowed a sack last year. Look how good that
Yeah.
is. Like,
He graded very
I'm cool with
highly.
that. So
Mm.
who knows? Maybe we'll be probably over the moon if we get a right tackle. 1,000,000%.
Yeah. Yeah. We because we definitely need one for sure. And like you said, it's not the sexy pick, but it is the necessary pick. And hopefully the Ravens do go in that direction, either that or a playmaking safety. If we don't get one of those two in free agency is shot. Our free agency grade is automatically a C to me if we don't get one of those two in free agency. Draft is
And it look
automatically a C, like I said earlier, if we don't get an offensive tackle in the first or second round.
and there are guys in the first and second round that we can get.
Yeah.
And then I mean, if we can just talk about, I know I might get a little too ahead of myself, but the Aaron Rodgers extension, there could
Hmm.
be ones with Darius Smith getting cut. I think it kind of sealed the deal for him getting cut.
Yeah, because they're gonna have to find that money somewhere, you know.
Yeah.
So if that were to happen, I think we talked about it on the last episode of the Purple Rain podcast. We would like to see Zadarius Smith back in Baltimore. No.
I'm with it.
Yeah.
I
Yeah.
really am. I love it. Him and Owe,
Yeah.
Tyus Bowser.
Let's see what we got here. We do have a super chat donation, our first of the episode. Thank you so
Thank you.
much. This one's coming from Death to Beta. Thank you so much. We appreciate you for making it rain here on episode 98 of the Purple Rain podcast. Says, who do you want, Bobby Wagner or Tyrann Mathieu? Ravens interested in Bobby Wagner. Wagner or Matthew, if I had to choose from either one of those guys, I'm going to go with Tyrann Mathieu. I'm
Okay.
gonna go with Tyrann Mathieu. He's a little younger. He also is a big playmaking safety. He's proven across the league, and he's kind of like a heart and soul kind of guy. Heart and soul of the defense.
Yeah.
He's a Raven as well. I think he perfectly fits in that locker room. Not to say that Bobby Wagner does not, but I think a bigger need right now for the Ravens is a playmaking safety to kind of like round out that secondary, so you can have a Marcus Peters, have a Marlon Humphrey, and then a Tyrann Mathieu over the top. No
Yeah.
fly zone. You know what I mean? No fly zone. So I'm going with Tyrann Mathieu.
I'm a sucker for a safety. I'm an even bigger sucker for a linebacker. I'll just do
Mm,
devil's advocate here. I'll go Bobby Wagner, and I look at it now. I look at the drop off between the top free agent linebackers compared to the top free agent safeties. For
okay.
linebackers, I mean, you got Bobby Wagner. Let's say we miss out on Bobby Wagner. You got Jordan Hicks. I'm cool with that. If we got Jordan Hicks, the Cardinals' second leading tackler, I'd be cool with that. And then you got, let's see who you got. Anthony Hitchens. I mean, not bad from the Chiefs. Jayon Brown didn't have a great year last year. Christian Kirksey, Leighton Vander Esch, John Bostic. It doesn't look good. I go the
Mm,
safeties. Matthew, you got Marcus May, then you got Quandre Diggs, Justin Reed. I'll go Wagner because I think we've been missing just a dual linebacker. But at the same time, if we got either one of them, I'm gonna be sitting here happy as hell. So
oh yeah,
we get
absolutely. Either one of those guys, we would definitely be satisfied with. And I mean, I like your take on that as well. And like we talked about before, I think Bobby Wagner could definitely elevate the play of some of our younger linebacker talent, like a Malik Harrison, like a Patrick Queen, as well. So yeah, definitely get your point there. K Dog says smash that like button. He is absolutely right. Make sure you hit the thumbs up down
thank you.
below. Like if you have not already. And if you are new to this channel, make sure you hit that subscribe button because there is a lot more. And when I say a lot
Yes.
more, I mean a lot more Ravens content coming your way
Just wait
from
till the
this
summer.
channel. Oh
Like
yeah.
when it gets dry in the summer, just wait.
Oh
What the
yeah.
tier rankings will be coming back. We'll be ranking the quarterbacks. I know that.
Oh, I can't wait for that. Can't wait for
That's
that.
gonna be a good
Last
one.
year's was fun. Let's see. JTV asking if you got a pure leaf tea there.
Yeah, I do, but it's a lemon
Lemon.
right there.
Okay.
Yeah,
Nice, nice. See, I'm not a fan of tea. Never have been. I don't like tea.
I'm a
It's
sucker
like
for some good tea and half
just
and half
can't, man.
and
Half and
lemonade.
half. Half and half isn't
Lemonade.
bad. Half and half. I can do half and half. I can tolerate it. But tea is just
Yeah,
like tastes like mud. I don't know. Like it just. I don't know, man. I just can't.
I
But
guess don't go to England then. Don't have their
Oh,
tea.
definitely. Yeah, definitely. But all right, let's see. We have another super chat donation. This one coming from Death to
Ah,
Beta again. Thank you
thank
so
you.
so much.
Thank you.
Let's see. Wagner and Queen roaming behind Jordan Davis.
Jordan Davis's combine was dirty,
Oh, talk
dirty.
about it. Yeah.
He already looked good going into it, but that just helped him out even. A man that big should not be moving around the way he did. That's unfair. That's like a Madden created player. Nothing.
Yeah, I mean, you're absolutely right. Um, yeah, whoever gets him is definitely going to be getting a special talent. It's just a matter of will his game translate well enough to the NFL, you know.
Yeah.
Let's see. We got our guy Gerald in the house. What's going on,
What's
Gerald?
up,
Says,
Gerald?
"What up, PRP? What's up, man? How are you doing tonight? We appreciate you for swinging through, always coming in supporting us. We appreciate you, man. Let's see.
Yes.
We have another super chat donation. This one's coming from Mark Marciano. Thank you so
What
so
up, Mark?
much.
Thank
What's
you.
going on, Mark? Thank you so much for donating to the Purple Rain podcast. We appreciate you. Says trade up for Hamilton if he falls to 8. Trade up only for the best at position, which is Hamilton. And Seattle could look to stick up picks for rebuild or stock up picks.
Trade up for him with me. Here's
I
my
don't see
here's
the
my problem
Ravens
though.
trading up.
I just don't
Yeah,
know what we do in free agency. That's my
that's it.
biggest. It's like if we do get a safety in free agency, this wouldn't happen. Um, if he falls to 8, we have the picks to make it happen. I mean, we have an abundance of fourth rounders. You trade our first round pick, probably throw a third and a fourth in there. You're up at 8 for 6
Yeah.
picks.
My thing is though, for my safety, I want veteran experience. I want a guy who's not gonna have a mishap, in an AFC championship game, in an AFC divisional game where there's just one play where he missed his assignment, whatever is on the wrong side of the field. I need a guy who's experienced, who's been there, who's done that. That's one of the positions that I will say I want some proven talent, Yeah, I mean, because when you're a safety, you're kind of like, I think of it as like, when you're a safety, you're kind of like the manager of the secondary, right? You kind of oversee everything else that's going on with the receivers and the DBs and the cornerbacks. You kind of have to be where you're needed, at all times, and that's something where experience definitely comes into play. It plays a really really big role. So I would want my safety to be more experienced, and for that reason, I don't think, and I also don't see I don't see the Ravens trading up for anybody. If anything, I see them trading back. Yeah, I can see it happening, man. Honestly, you know how they love their draft picks. They love their draft picks.
I
But
have an
yeah,
infatuation with them, and that
they
just
do.
an absolute infatuation.
They
Um,
do.
this also brings up something too. Talking about just people ahead of us.
Yeah.
Will the quarterback go before 14? Will the quarterback go? I mean, with will the Seahawks pick a quarterback now?
I heard they're trying to get Deshaun Watson.
I mean, the Colts need a quarterback now.
They do.
The Steelers obviously need a quarterback.
Yeah.
Seahawks could use one. I don't know. I mean, if a quarterback goes before 14, that's great for us because that means that's just a pick off the board. Maybe a Malik Willis. Can he pick it?
I don't see these Kenny Pickett, Malik Willis. I don't see those guys going. Everybody knows, anybody who's anybody, which is anybody, knows that this is not a quarterback's draft. It just isn't. But since the NFL is a quarterback-driven league, and most of the faces of the league are quarterbacks, then we've got to have somebody to talk about at the draft, right? Got to have somebody. And yeah, Malik Willis has a big arm, sure. So did Dwayne Haskins, right? You know what I mean? And I'm not trying to I'm not trying to
Strip club
trash on
Haskins.
the guy. I'm not trying to trash on the guy. I mean, I know Malik Willis is about his business and everything like that, a lot more than Dwayne Haskins was. But I mean, we kind of you're reaching for straws when you're evaluating quarterbacks at the draft. You know, so like I said, this year is not a year for drafting quarterbacks, and for that reason, I don't see those guys going until late first round, maybe. If somebody trades back or trades up, whatever, or a second round even as well. And for that reason, I don't see any quarterbacks being picked ahead of us at 14. So it's gonna be kind of tough sledding It's gonna be tough sledding, especially with some of the other news that's come out around the league, and that kind of transitions us into just the around the league portion of this show of the
Yep,
podcast, where we just kind of talk about what's going on around the NFL, and
a whole lot.
a lot has been going on, a whole
A
lot.
whole lot.
And I'll go ahead and lead with this because it kind of connects to the point I was making. So Carson Wentz to Washington. We all know that Carson Wentz is a Washington Commander now, and Washington had the what pick in the draft? I can't remember.
I think ninth.
Yeah, it's top 10. I think it was ninth, actually. So now it's confirmed that they will not be picking a quarterback, drafting a quarterback,
Yep.
which makes it even harder for us to get somebody that we really, really want, you know. So just kind of starting with that, and we'll get into all the other moves around the league. Wentz to Washington. Do you like it? Do you love it? Do you hate it? For Washington. If you're a Washington fan, do you like it, love it, or hate it? Go.
I was talking to a friend of the show, a good man named by Ungod, who is a Commanders fan, and
Yeah,
I DM'd him. I'm
he
like,
is.
bro, I'm sorry. I'm like, I feel for you. He's like,
Yeah.
no, actually, I don't hate it. He's like, we got a veteran. We need a receiver. Get a linebacker. I'm thinking, I'm like, okay, but I'm thinking like, how much is that cap hit again? Like 27 million. That right there just like scares me off. And what Wentz brings is that let's say 24-25 million dollars more better than what Taylor Heineke can bring. Like it's just that cap number really scares me. It like maybe that's why I don't hate the move. I don't love it either. It's a very Washington-esque move though. I just wasn't
It
surprised by it.
is. It's a very, very Washington-like move. I actually tweeted that myself, and like it makes sense to me. I don't hate it. I'm kind of like on board with on God here, and I think we talked about it on Twitter. The Redskins, not the Redskins, but the Washington Commanders. Jesus Christ, I'm so sorry, guys.
Stop changing their name. It's like
It's just like I
just
can't
go with
keep
the
up
football
now.
team.
Right, yeah. But the Commanders, like, you think about the scope of their team. Just 2 years ago, they were
They're pick 11.
very, very
Pick 11.
pick 11. Okay.
Sorry about that.
Just 2 years ago, they were very, very close to, beating the Tampa Bay Buccaneers in the wild card round, which, that team ended up going on to win the Super Bowl that year. And then the following year after that, they had a banged up defense, on offense, couldn't really, get much going. Heineke went down, and it's just like, they
Curtis
just
Samuel
don't.
was a waste.
Curtis Samuel was a waste, and they just always seem like there's just something. There's just something that's plaguing them at all times, And now at least
Stadium.
they
I'm telling you,
right.
it's that stadium. It has to
It's
be.
gotta be something. It's cursed or something. But now at least they get a guy in Carson Wentz, like who can honestly. Carson Wentz still has talent. Let's not get that
Yeah.
twisted. He can make pretty much every throw in the book, But his highs are high, but his lows are really low. That's the thing about Carson Wentz. That's the thing about Carson Wentz.
Last year against the Jaguars.
Yeah, yeah. But another thing is, my guy K-Dog, like he brings up here, Carson Wentz, he knows the NFC East, or the NFC least, as they like to call it. And he says, I think he balls out in this division. I think this is kind of like his revenge tour on the AFC, not the AFC, but the NFC East. I think it is. He comes back. He's getting with a veteran coach, Ron Rivera. He's got some weapons there. Terry McLaurin. I think as long as they draft well, if the Washington Commanders, if
Which
they
they have
draft
done.
well,
Which they actually have. I'll give
Yeah.
it to them. They can draft.
Yeah, yeah. Aside from a couple of shaky picks that I know about, but they are just a healthy defense and a competent quarterback away from actually being contenders in that division at least. So for that reason, I don't hate it. If he can stay healthy, then I think that they'll make some noise. They'll make some noise of that division.
Yeah.
In that division.
And you
I'm sure
bring
they
up
will.
when they were playing the Tampa Bay Bucks when they won the I almost said the World Series. Baseball's on my mind. The Super Bowl.
Yeah.
Like they gave them the hardest, like the best competition. They really did. I mean,
They did.
I know the Packers played them hard, but it's like Matt LaFleur just took the game out of their hands. The Saints, it was over by the fourth quarter. I mean, after they got, I think it was the interception. I think Devin White or the fumble, they won by 10. Like this game, if it's not Heineke, I mean, I think they win that game. It's just a quarterback playing in like his first career start in the playoffs.
And he didn't play terrible in that game either.
Right.
Yeah.
It's just like that last drive. I mean, what else do you expect? It's not like you got Peyton Manning back there commanding the offense.
Right.
I think you're right. I mean, I'm a huge fan of Chase Young. I love Montez Sweat. They just released Landon Collins. They got more cap space there. I mean, if they can make the right signings too, along with a good draft, there's no reason they can't make the wild card. Or depending how the Cowboys look, I mean, I know their cap situation is weird right now because they got to pay Zeke that money. They could maybe be a sleeper to win the division.
Yeah. I mean, honestly, the Washington Commanders, their seasons are dictated based upon how they do against the Cowboys at the end of the day.
Yep.
You think about it,
Mm,
like if they can beat the
good point.
Cowboys or at least split with the Cowboys, they're normally in contention in that division, you know.
Yeah.
Because all the other teams are kind of like stagnant. You've got the Giants who they can easily sweep or at least get one off of. Eagles, same thing there. But the Cowboys are the team that really stands in their way, you know.
I can see now it's going to be Sunday Night Football, Week 1,
Yeah.
Cowboys, Washington.
Yeah.
I can when it happens, I'm going to come back to you. I can just see it now.
Crystal
Eagles.
ball. Hey,
Or Eagles, Commanders, Sunday Night Football in FedEx Field, Week 1.
look, you heard it here first. The schedule prediction from Simply AS10, man. Make sure you are locked into the Purple Rain podcast channel. So you can see if he's right. Because I don't know, he may be right. I can see them
Just
doing
wait
something
till
like that.
Our schedule release episodes are fun too.
Those are
Last
really
year, that was
fun.
fun.
Yeah. Those are like some of my favorite episodes. But yeah, we do have another super chat donation coming in from Asmodeus Donatos. Thank you so much, Asmodeus, man. It says McChickens, get your McChickens. Yeah, man, we appreciate you making it rain here on episode 98 of the Purple Rain podcast. We thank you so much, man. Let's see. Click one says Wentz may have the worst football IQ out of any starting quarterback named Jameis Winston. I don't think his IQ is that bad.
I'm a big Winston guy. I mean, once Winston got the LASIK eye surgery, he's hasn't been as crazy. I still love his workout routine. I don't know what he does, but he's still the funniest guy in the league, by far.
Let's see. JTV says, if Sauce Gardner is at 14, do you draft him over everyone else, even O-line? Answer is no for me.
Just depends what O-linemen are there. If Trevor Penning's there, I'm taking Sauce. Or I wouldn't be surprised if they traded back.
Sauce is the sexier pick. It is like, too much sauce, right? It would be good to have him in Baltimore, that playmaking ability for sure. But O-line, like I said, that's the most important thing. If we don't want to be sitting here complaining for a whole nother season, about how Lamar Jackson does not have enough time to throw, then we got to get that O-lineman. I know it's not the sexy pick now, but it will be, yeah.
Sauce or Stingley in the first, Lyman in the second. How do you feel?
I like that. I think that's fair,
There we go.
Yeah. And we'll continue, guys. Listen, draft talk is going to be ramping up here soon on the Purple Rain podcast. So make sure you are
all the rumors, all the
in tune for those episodes too.
Oh,
the mock
goodness.
drafts.
There's
so many different episodes,
it was
right?
so much fun. It was so we had the 2 first round. Did we take Bateman last year?
No, I don't think we did. I think we took. We have to go back. That'll be interesting. I want to go back and see.
Jalen Phillips. I know. I definitely said no to Owe. I remember I was an anti-Owe guy.
Anti-Owe. Yeah, man, we got to go back and definitely got to check out that episode. But mock draft episodes are gonna be a lot of fun too. So that's yet another reason. Make sure you subscribe to the Purple Rain podcast channel. Also like this video as well because it helps us out a whole bunch. We got about 70 people watching live right now as we speak.
How are we feeling about the early
so
episode?
much.
I feel rejuvenated. Like
me too.
We went live. It was still light outside.
Light outside.
I think this
that.
weekend. I think we spring forward too. I'm loving it.
We do. Yeah, daylight savings time starts,
good mojo,
great
good vibes.
Good vibes, great vibes, man. I love when my days, when I get off work and like there's still, sunlight outside. That's just beautiful. Yeah, it's beautiful. I love it. Same thing for the podcast, guys. We will be here. We might maybe 6:30. Instead of 7, I don't know. We might mess with the times. Who knows, guys? You're just gonna make sure you are locked into the Purple Rain podcast at all times. Make sure you follow us on Instagram for all the latest news, because we're always doing something. We're always making moves here. Let's see. The draft. So,
I mean, don't forget the draft last year. That 4-hour stream.
Draft last year, Jesus Christ.
But this year, I mean, we're 14.
I remember that.
We are not gonna be sitting here like one more pick until we're on. Like we were just out of it.
Oh yeah.
Absolutely
By the
not.
time we picked, it was so bro. It was like it literally took 3.5 hours for us to pick. It was wild. Anyway, so let's go ahead and just touch on some of the other news around the NFL. So Russell Wilson to the Broncos. I really wanted to actually talk about this. Does
Okay.
this make the Broncos legitimate contenders? First of all, Russell Wilson is in the AFC. I'll say that again. Russell Wilson is in the AFC.
Son.
So that is just yet another elite quarterback in this conference to make it that much harder for the Ravens to make it to the Super Bowl. So with that being said, a lot of mainstream media are saying that like, oh yeah, the Russell Wilson led Broncos are now, not favorites to get to the Super Bowl, but they're contenders now. They're
Yep.
contenders.
Yep.
So
And
I don't know how I feel about that. I mean, they're saying that like they have all these pieces and whatnot, but I don't see it right now. You know?
and you know what? I'm not gonna sit here and say Russell Wilson to the Broncos doesn't move me because obviously, he's still a great quarterback. But it feels like he just checked out of last year. Like that just wasn't Russ. I mean, you have DK Metcalf, you got Tyler Lockett. Um, Now you got Jerry Judy, Cortland Sutton, Tim Patrick, no Noah
Yeah.
Fant, and then you got
Mm-mm.
KJ Hamler. You got receiver, you got Javonte Williams at running back. You got a running back, but all this pressure now is the Broncos need to hit in free agency, hit in the draft. Because I mean, I'm not going to sit here. Russell Wilson is no Peyton Manning. That's no knock
Mm.
whatsoever. But this AFC is a lot harder than when Peyton Manning was playing. A whole lot harder. When Peyton Manning was with the Broncos, he had to worry about Ben, Flacco, and Tom. I mean,
Yeah.
that's Rivers. Not really. Who else? Did it?
Yeah.
Mark Sanchez. No. You got to worry about Herbert, Mahomes, Lamar, uh, Burrow now. Um, who else? I mean, who else am I missing? There's four. Who knows what happens with Watson? I don't know where he would go. He could go to the Steelers. I saw that. You never know.
Yeah.
So I mean, I just playoff contender. They should be making the playoffs. That's the bare
Mm-hmm.
minimum. AFC Championship they have got to make. I think 1,000,000%. Super Bowl, but for me, they got to make the AFC Championship. If you want to
Let me ask you
consider it.
this. Well, like I was just gonna ask you, like Russell Wilson going to that division, rank
Even
those
that,
quarterbacks in that division right now. So you got Patrick Mahomes, Justin Herbert, Derek Carr, and
this is
Russell Wilson.
uh, recency bias is going to be on my ass. Unfortunately,
Mm.
Mahomes, Herbert, Wilson, Carr. I just once again
Okay.
recency bias. I mean, what Herbert did that last game, not many quarterbacks can do that. I know you were watching that game. Like
Yeah.
4th and 20, he zipped. Now you can throw Wilson above Herbert, maybe if he's checked in and locked in, but
And it's so crazy because like Derek Carr has been playing well, right?
yeah,
And
I
like
feel. I
he's
mean,
like,
they made it to the
oh my
playoffs
goodness,
with an interim
right?
head coach and without his number one wide receiver.
Exactly, and like he's the worst quarterback in his division. Isn't that
I
something?
do feel
That's crazy. I feel for him. So like with that being said, do you think that that is now the toughest division in the NFL?
by far, 100%.
Respect, respect. Okay.
I thought it was the AFC North.
Now
It's like
let me ask let me ask you about this too as well while we're at it. I know you brought up Aaron Rodgers earlier in his contract that he just
yeah,
got. Um, First of all, I'll just let you know I am not a fan of the Packers re-signing Aaron Rodgers to what, a 4-year deal, another 4 years,
4 years, 200 million. I'm there with you.
$200 million.
I
I am not a fan of that at all because it's like, what are you really investing into? What is the upside here?
yeah,
Because the last 3 seasons, 3 4 years, I mean, you've seen more of the same. Of you guys make it to the NFC Championship game and you just stumble every time. So it's like you're gonna
10
give them
points
four
against the
more
49ers at
chances,
home. 10
right?
points against the 49ers at home. You were a 1 seed.
Right. So I mean,
10
nothing
points.
that right exactly. So I'm saying like I get the MVPs, cool, but people don't give Lamar Jackson that same type of credit that he got for his
Talk
MVP.
about it.
You know what I mean? So it's
Imagine the
like you're gonna
Ravens know what they did. Our fan
right,
base will be all over them. We will be
yeah,
all over the team. We There would be somebody fired if we went to the AFC Championship twice, lost, then
Right.
got knocked out as a 1 seed. Somebody will
Mm.
be fired.
Yeah. So I mean, I just don't know why. Like, it just seems like the Packers are like that. They're like that. They're like that ugly girlfriend who, like, just doesn't want to get like broken up with or something like that. So she's just like, I don't know, like throwing like, I don't know, whatever she can to just keep the dude around. I don't know. I don't know, dude. That's what it feels like at this point.
Go to
Because
the
like
mall and
Aaron
buy yourself
Rodgers,
a new
like
pair of shoes.
right, Aaron Rodgers is not like he's not really doing anything for the Packers. He's winning MVPs, but that's
Oh,
for Aaron
he's giving a headache.
Rodgers.
He's causing
You know
a
what I
headache. I'll
mean?
tell you that right now.
Exactly. So it's just like I don't know what their thought process is. Was that let's go ahead and make this guy the highest paid player of all time. He's got his one Super Bowl, and that was like
Free
a
Jordan
decade
Love.
ago. You
Free
know what I
Jordan
mean?
Love.
Just drafted a quarterback in the first round 2 years ago. It's just like I don't know. They seem to be a mess. They are a mess. And yeah.
I
Anyway,
just think the Packers as a franchise, I think, are a failure right now. I'm not
it's
going to sit here and
bad.
say, like I'll say it again. You had Brett Favre and you had Aaron Rodgers. You got 2 rings out of that. 2.
Yeah.
Tom Brady was thrown to a glorified lacrosse player and won a Super Bowl with him.
Mm.
Come on.
Hey, all there is to it. All there is to it, right?
He was throwing to me, basically. Short white receiver. That's who he was throwing to, and he won a Super Bowl with him. I don't know how he did it, but he did.
He did it. He did it. Man, but yeah, so I mean, with that being said, there is obviously a lot of news, a boatload of news going on across the NFL right now, and there's going to be a whole lot more. This is just Thursday, March 10th that we're recording this episode. And like
It's even
free
started.
agency, it has
We're
not
losing our
started
mind.
yet. Exactly. Like, oh my goodness, like bro, the
I'm
news is going
be
to
a
drop next
psychiatric
week.
ward.
Right. We're going to have to get a straight jacket for Simply. Yeah.
I'm gonna be like,
All the news, like it's just
bring me a safety.
wow.
Draft me
Yeah.
a lineman. Bring
Turn
me
on
sauce.
turn on your notifications for Adam Schefter and
They're one.
those guys. Oh
Rappaport,
yeah,
they're one.
Ian
My
Rappaport. Got to
sports
make sure
updated.
those are on.
God bless the Apple Watch. I'll be at work. I'm like, Adam,
yeah,
oh, here we go. Adam Schefter, the Raiders releasing Corey Littleton. That literally just happened.
yeah. What would you say?
Right there.
Let's talk about this real quick. Let's flash back to last season. Let's flash back to last season. What was the biggest off-season news that you got? One that like you'll never forget what you were doing, like what happened, like other than the injuries. I would say other than the injuries because we talked about those last year. Not last year, but last week.
Okay. I mean, if we're talking Ravens when we traded Orlando Brown, I will
Yeah.
never forget.
I'll
I was
never
driving past McDonough School, near my old house in Owings Mills. I will never forget. I know exactly where I was, passing this fruit stand, and I checked my phone, and I saw it, and I just kind of like didn't believe it.
Yeah, man.
I will never forget that.
I was the same way. I got the notification on my Apple Watch. I was like walking up the street. I was actually in Annapolis, Maryland at the time.
It's like you know where you were. You
Yeah.
just know.
Yeah, and I just like I get the notification, and like the person I'm with is like, "Yo, what's going on?" I'm like, "The Ravens just traded Orlando Brown. Like, you don't even know how big this is right now."
Right.
And so like I immediately go, and I think we both like drop like our opinions on our Instagram or something like that. Yeah, look forward to more of that too, like big news and stuff like that. We can't really get to an episode right away. Instant reactions. We're gonna be doing more of those too. So, yeah, I know.
But
man.
I think all together last year too, what was like a big. I remember I was with the Mahomes contract. I was in Columbia, Maryland when he got the $500 million contract. I remember that
Yeah,
because that was like insane.
I want to say I was at work for that one.
What was the biggest news of last offseason?
The biggest news of off season last. I mean, there's a couple things.
It wasn't Brady.
It wasn't Brady. You could say the Deshaun Watson stuff.
I remember where I was for that.
Yeah. And I'm sure there was some other moves too that just aren't coming to mind right now. But
It's not
while
like
those come to
remembering.
mind, we do have a couple super chat donations coming in. This one coming in from Kyle Reeves. Thank you so much for making it rain here. Appreciate you. Says he called Ben a refrigerator. I will not forget. Wait, who said that? Did I say that? I did say. I think I did say that.
You say he's an old refrigerator like a gym.
I mean, yeah, honestly, man, because I mean, he gets out of the pocket and it just does not look good. It's not like the Big Ben of old, where like at
Oh
least he
my
was
god.
like a refrigerator where he could kind of like shrug guys off of him and whatnot. He doesn't have too much of that now. He's older, and I hope he definitely enjoys retirement.
The
But
one
thank you so
thing
much, Kyle.
the one thing I'll miss about Ben is that every offseason in training camp, that video would resurface of him holding the ball, them
Yeah,
throwing like a little pads to like hit them.
he's just hitting them.
Like I want to be just like have that much job security where I can mess
Yeah,
around like that in a serious moment and just not worry about losing my job. Like that was
right. That's like senior in gym class, carefree. You know what I mean? Like last week of school. Just
in there
carefree. Don't
in
been there,
sports
done that.
playing
Right.
dodgeball, fun times.
Exactly. We do have another super chat donation coming in from our guy Gerald G Money himself. Man, thank you so much for coming through.
Oh,
We appreciate you.
speaking of 100 coming soon, I think 100 will be next week, next Thursday, when
It
free
will.
agency officially opens. What a way!
Yes.
What a
Ooh.
bang!
Oh my
What a
goodness.
bang!
You're not gonna want to miss that episode. That is
What
gonna
a
be a crazy episode. Free agency talk, episode 100 for PRP giveaway. Oh, you're gonna want to be locked into the Purple Rain podcast. All 65 to 70 people of you watching live right now, the entire replay gang watching right now. You're gonna want to make sure you're
come
locked
through.
into the Purple Rain podcast for next week's episodes. Also, make sure you follow us on Instagram at the Purple Rain podcast. And if you have not already, like this video and subscribe to our channel. But thank you so much, Gerald. We appreciate you, man. Gerald is a true Purple Rain pioneer to the fullest, absolute fullest. If you watch the Purple Rain podcast, you know who Gerald is, man. You know Gerald. Always pulling up from deep, from the logo, man, from half court. We love him, man. We appreciate you.
Man, speaking of basketball, Monday, I'm very happy we didn't have an episode. I was very sad, man. Very. My school was the number 1 seed in the CAA basketball. They got knocked out by Delaware. Knocked out.
Yikes.
Yeah.
Dang, man. How was it bad? What was the score?
They only had 1 lead, and that was like 8-7 in the first half. They lost like 69-56. You just know when a game's over. It was just hard to watch. It's like you're giving yourself that false hope, like, oh, they made it 3, maybe. It never happened.
Right, maybe. Right, exactly. But yeah. So we will definitely stay locked into free agency. My guy Ramey in the house. What's good, Ramey? Shout out to you for coming through. Says free agency is peak football, I think. LOL. Yeah, we were talking about it earlier, how like the off season is a season in itself, and if you're a true football fan, you really enjoy this part like no other, because it's just like all the storylines getting weaved together without any football even being played. So it's pretty cool.
Get ready for the overreactions. I'm fully ready.
Right. Oh yeah.
When we signed
Love
Bobby
it.
Wagner, I'm like, we're winning the Super Bowl. Get the
Right.
tickets.
Yep. All right. I think we'll go ahead and wrap after just a few questions. We'll take a couple questions just to wrap up the episode. Anything about anything, guys. Burning questions. Now is the time to drop them down in the chat. If you're not watching this live and you're part of the hashtag replay gang, thank you so much for joining, and leave your comments and questions down below. Gonna go ahead and kick it off with my guy K-Dog here. Mod K-Dog says, I know it's 2 weeks away, but Sutton, who do you got in UFC 274? Charles Oliveira or Justin Gaethje? Yeah, go ahead.
This is past week. The Covington Masvidal.
Oh,
Can somebody
man.
send Masvidal to the WWE? It was just hard to watch. He caught that jaw, and like what happened after that? There was nothing else.
He was gassed at that point. He didn't really have it left in him to kind of like. Yeah, but that's what I said about Masvidal, man. Like, he's always been a journeyman, and like that knee, that highlight flying knee knockout that he had over Ben Askren a few years back, that really like kind of transcended him. Right. I mean, that's his claim to fame. Honestly, that's why most people know who Jorge Masvidal is. He was a really good fighter before that happened, but after that really springboarded him into kind of this fame and getting main events and stuff like that. And he's not on the same level. At the end of the day, he's just not on the same level as these top guys like Colby Covington, like Kamaru Usman, because Colby Covington just completely outclassed him.
But why didn't Covington call out Usman? Why call out Jorge? I was like,
because Covington's already lost to Usman twice. He's lost him twice. It's just like you got to work your way back up to him. Like
I get that. I was like, But I
Oh
will give
man.
the fact he came up with the Kurt Angle theme was pretty cool. I'll give it like that kind of sent some goosebumps. I was like, okay, like
Yeah.
that was cool. That was about it.
Yeah, Kobe, he's a stone cold American, that's for sure. He is, and like he plays that role very, very well. Very, very well. And I hope to see him in probably another fight with the champ Kamaru Usman at some point because it just seems like there's nobody better than those two in that division. Kamaru Usman and Colby Covington, and then the drop off is huge from there. Um, yeah, that was a really good card though. I definitely did enjoy it. Kevin Big Mouth Holland, he made a big comeback on that one. For those of you guys who are Kevin Holland fans, he is really, really cool too. He's a good follow on Instagram as well. But getting back to K Dog's question here, says I know it's 2 weeks away, but sudden who do you got in UFC 274, Oliveira or Gaethje? This is a good one. Lightweight division is the most interesting division in the UFC. If you know anything about UFC, you know lightweight is the most competitive out of all of them. That's where Conor McGregor came from. That's where Khabib Nurmagomedov came from. All that. So Oliveira versus Gaethje. For me, I'm going to go with Oliveira in this fight. I think these guys are evenly matched, but it's going to come down to who has more heart at the end of the day. And Oliveira has all the heart in the world and all the chin. You know, Gaethje has all the heart, but the chin is questionable sometimes. The chin can be questionable. He can be caught. And so can Oliveira. But I just think Oliveira has more tools in the toolbox to get it done than what Gaethje has. Now, that does not mean Gaethje won't knock him out because it's definitely a possibility. But if I had to make my pick, I'm going to go with Oliveira because I just think he has more tools.
Yeah.
Thank you, K-Dog, though. Appreciate you.
While we're on the UFC talk,
Sure.
going back to 272, the co-main, what a fight! I mean, it
Yeah.
was hard to watch sometimes. I'm like, just end it. Like, I thought
And who
his
was that?
eye
That
just
was
wasn't open. Dos
you
Anjos,
talking Dos Anjos and Moicano. That's right.
yeah,
Yeah. Yeah.
like that was hard to watch. Like that last round, I was like,
It was bad. It was bad. And Moicano, he took the fight on 4 days' notice. So you can't
yeah,
really fault him because like he stuck it out. He didn't quit. He never quit. He never went out or anything like that. But for me, if you're RDA, you got to put that guy away. You got to put him away. Like you basically won the fight like halfway through the second round when like you were really just kind of beating on him, and he was just kind of hanging in there. You got to finish the fight. That's the whole idea behind, getting the big payday and getting the title shot. You have to decisively win your fights. And not to say that he didn't decisively win, but to get a guy in there who comes in there on 4 days' notice, you got to take him out of there. With all due respect, you got to get him out of
it's
there.
like Mark Jackson, with all due respect.
Yeah, I mean, hey, it is what it is. It is what it is. Let's see. My guy Ramey chimes in here, says Colby Covington is a good fighter, but he's never going to be that draw he's trying to be like a McGregor. Yeah, Colby, he tries really hard. He tries really hard to be like Conor, man.
Louisiana swamp trash. Oh God.
Yeah,
What
it's just like
you don't see Eli Apple tried it with Louisiana. We saw how that went with him. Calling out Louisiana, I've learned, don't call out Louisiana because they're ride or die, just like
yeah.
Baltimore.
He called out Dustin Poirier too, which is like Dustin Poirier's not gonna fight you, man. Like Dustin Poirier's a lightweight. He fights at 155. You fight at 170. Like that's not even. They're not gonna make that happen. Right? It's apples to oranges basically. Weight is a lot. It's very important in fighting. So I don't see Dustin Poirier ever taking that fight.
I saw people saying like maybe Connor and Masvidal should fight. I saw they were like,
that would be interesting. That would be very interesting. Honestly, I mean, I wouldn't be mad if Connor fought Masvidal, or if he fought Diaz, then Masvidal, beat Diaz one more time just to complete the trilogy, and then go fight Masvidal, who's, big draw, big name, same kind of fighting style. We're going to stand up, we're going to swing it out, that sort of thing.
what people want to see.
What people want to see, So I would love to see that for sure. But let's go ahead and bring up any other questions you guys have down here. Spent quite a bit of time on UFC there, which I love. Let's see. Kyle says Ravens won't have the cap for Bobby and Honey Badger. You got to pick one. Who you got and why? I think we answered this one earlier, and I think Alex went with Bobby Wagner. I went with Honey Badger.
I like either. Well, we
both like either for sure. But I think I had my reasons for Honey Badger being that, like, we need that big play safety just to kind of round out that secondary. And then, Alex's point, I think it was being like, elite linebacker who's still playing at a high level. And then, can also complement, like we said, Patrick Queen, our younger
Yeah.
linebacking core. So we definitely like both of those
It's a
guys.
win-win if you got either one of them. It's
Right.
not like,
Yeah.
and then if you got Honey Badger and Jordan Hicks, I think that's best case scenario. That
Yeah.
would be crazy.
Yeah. Let's see. All Day Esco says we're live. How has 2022
Oh,
been to you guys?
thank you.
2022. I mean, it's definitely been good so far. I feel like, bigger things are around the corner. Bigger and better things are around the
Agreed.
corner. But so far, I can't complain about it. What about you?
I just think with kind of my YouTube channel, that's only like really negative thing. Um, but right now, I mean, I guess school's going pretty good for me. I really can't complain.
Yeah.
One class away from graduating.
Okay.
So fall 2022 will be my last semester in college, and then we'll see what goes from there. But let's hope. Just cheers to bigger and better things for everybody.
Yeah.
A cheers from my pure leaf lemon tea.
Yeah.
Empty.
Let's see. Ernie says, "What do you think about Carson Wentz to the Skins?" That's my squad. Another thing we talked about earlier in this episode as well. I think we were basically saying. I mean, I was saying I don't hate it. You got some weapons there in Washington. As long as he can stay healthy, they should be okay.
Make good points. I can't lie. Change my opinion a little bit. I didn't like it. I didn't hate it. Didn't
Yeah.
love it. I'm mild. Very mild.
You said mild.
Mild. Like the
All
Taco
right.
Bell sauce is mild.
Esco says, "Big congrats on that last semester." Absolutely.
Thank you.
Yeah, absolutely. All right. So let's see. Ray Rico, we'll end it out with this one. NBA Finals matchups you want to see.
I've been watching a lot more basketball.
Mm.
I'll pop up the computer, throw the HDMI cord, throw it on the TV.
Yeah.
The Suns look for real. Like the Suns, I think are going.
They look like world beaters.
I mean, they did what they had with the Heat last night.
Yeah.
For the East, the Bulls are frauds. Sorry, I hate to say it. Can't beat a good team. I know they got people coming back. Sixers are disgusting, just straight up
Yeah. Yeah.
disgusting. Harden and Embiid is nasty, and I'm gonna watch the game tonight too. I want to see what happens with Ben Simmons.
Me too. I definitely do. I mean, for me, honestly, tonight will tell a lot. If we see Ben Simmons and KD, I don't think Kyrie is playing. I'm not sure. I don't know where they're playing at. That's what that depends on.
I think it's in Philly.
It's in Philly. Okay, so he should be playing then. Oh
Yeah.
man, this is gonna be a great game. It's gonna be a great game. Tonight's game is gonna tell you a lot about who's gonna be coming out of the East. Because I think it's gonna be either the Nets or the Sixers.
Yeah, I
Um,
do too.
and I think it's
Maybe
gonna
the
be
Bucks.
like you said, maybe the Bucks, but I don't see them. I honestly don't see them going. I don't see them repeating. I don't know. But I got Nets and Sixers versus the Suns. Nets or
Yeah.
the Sixers versus the Suns in the
Yeah.
finals. That's what I want to see. But yeah, so let's go ahead. Asmodeus with another super chat donation. Thank you so much. That's simply AS10. What are you trying to do after college?
Keep on doing this, like sports, 1,000,000%.
Yeah.
This is
Yeah.
if I could do like make videos and do this for a living, be awesome. Like, just bring a different, not the see when you turn on the like an ESPN. Like, I'm not trying to sit here and knock him, but like Stephen A doesn't know what he's talking about football wise. He really doesn't,
Right.
and that's why when they
No.
have foreign people come on, they're like, "What are you talking about?" Like, just some more
Yeah.
just real fans, and then just obviously making videos too, whether it be recording any of that editing. But that's what I love to do.
Yeah. Yeah. And absolutely, and as we all know, you are great at it. So I don't think that you'll have any issue with, getting that job, getting that opportunity as soon as you do get finished with school.
And I mean, my goal for here too is us to eventually get sponsored. I think that's like I really haven't told people that, but that'd be awesome to be like a real sponsor for this
That would be dope.
podcast.
That would be super dope. And I think that could definitely be on the way. I mean, be on the lookout. Let's see. King95 says simply Arsenal top 4.
Please, I have. Last time Arsenal were in the Champions League, I was a senior in high school. I was 18 years old. 23 now. 5 years later, I'm waiting. So please, I need them top 4. Hopefully.
Okay. Hey, we will see. We will see. Shout out to King too. Thank you for joining the stream. We
King
appreciate
spits
you.
facts about the Ravens.
Yeah.
King will tell you how he feels. I respect that big time.
Yeah. Absolutely. Have another super chat donation. This one coming in from Jabari Cruz Ellis. Thank you so much. Making it rain here on episode 98 of the Purple Rain podcast. Says, what's up, guys? Just wanted to see if you guys heard about the Khalil Mack to the Chargers. The Chargers didn't give the Bears a first round pick.
So I found out why they didn't. It's because how much cap that he will eat. That they will eat with Khalil Mack. I get that. But what the Chargers are doing, like they know they have a really good quarterback on a rookie contract, and they're building around him. By the time this contract is up, Herbert he'll be getting his big contract, or I think he'll be like in the final year. So it's great business. Great business.
Yeah.
I envy them.
Agreed. Absolutely. Thank you so much, Jabari Cruz Ellis. We appreciate you, man. But yeah, I think that is going to do it for this
final
episode,
question, though,
right?
for you.
Yeah. For me?
Your number one target's gone, free agent, Mike Williams. How do you feel about him going back to the Chargers?
I mean, disappointed but not surprised, honestly. I think the Chargers know what they have in Mike Williams. Like, you can't get that basically anywhere else right now. You know, like
and big chemistry.
Body, right, in the chemistry. Like, big body guy, he will go up and get it, like, put his body on the line. We've literally seen that. You can't really find that in a lot of places right now. So just having that as an asset on your team, I think, is very smart to keep him. So, like I said, disappointed but not surprised, because I mean, I definitely wanted Baltimore to pursue him.
Yeah.
But yeah, I think that is gonna go ahead and do it for this episode of the Purple Rain podcast. Before you guys get out of here, make sure you guys go ahead and like the video, because listen, liking the video, it helps us out a whole lot. And listen, we do have this giveaway coming up soon. We want to make sure we get as much engagement as possible from you guys, get as much of you guys in the giveaway, so you guys have a chance to get that jersey. Retweets, Instagram posts, all that stuff. Make sure you follow us on Instagram at The Purple Rain Podcast. Also, you can find me on Twitter or Instagram at Sutton Def, just like how you see there down below. And my guy Simply on Twitter at SimplyAS10 and on Instagram at simplyas10.prod. And yeah, this has been episode 98 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Just from me, your boy Sutton Def. I thank you guys so much for coming out to this one. And with that being said, I'm going to let my guy Alex take us out.
Episode 98 of the Purple Rain Podcast. Next Monday, 99, and next Thursday, 100. Free agency. Yes. Expect Ravens news. Expect his NFL news. It's going to be It's going to be a party on here. It's going to be crazy. It's going to be wild. But remember, always to stay positive and test negative. I'm loving what I'm seeing. Loving it.
Yeah.
Loving it.
Absolutely. And most importantly, never, ever, ever, ever forget to call God. This has been